So since now we're basically in the summertime, the weather is starting to get nice, especially in climates where it's been cold for the past few months, and it's such a relief. Here we have a summer fragrance from 2018. This one is called Ambraser, which is a French word and it's a French brand. The name of the fragrance translates to ignite. The name of the brand is J.U.S. It's an acronym. In French, it's pronounced JU. In English, I guess you can call it juice, but it stands for Joyeux Unique et Sensoriel, which means unique and sensory gems. And this is a gem and it has a really high compliment factor to it as well. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Begin today's video on Ambraser by JU, and I tell you all about this fragrance, the notes, the smell, the performance, the perfumer, comparisons, all that good stuff. I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on that bell icon. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you take something of value or if you learn something from today's episode. So again, this fragrance was released back in 2018. The perfumer is Aurélien Guichard. Excellent resume and really impressive track record. I would definitely recommend that you check it out if you're interested in knowing what that perfumer's other works are. And this is a summer-driven fragrance with a sea salt accord, bergamot, isoe super, and ambroxan. It's really fresh but salty at the same time, and it has a really high compliment factor. I've actually been wearing this one to work recently, kind of sporadically and arbitrarily, not every single day, but when I was in the mood for it, and the compliments that I got from this one are through the roof. Now, I don't wear fragrances for compliments necessarily, but it just so turned out that I did get quite a few compliments from this fragrance. There is a really nice discovery set that this brand has to offer. I'm going to leave links to where you can purchase this fragrance down below. Whatever I find online, I'm going to put it down below for your convenience. Not affiliate links. I'm not making any money from it. Just want to make the experience a little bit more facilitated for you. But anyway, here we have a salty, fresh, citrusy, kind of aquatic and oceanic fragrance with some compliment-worthy notes in here. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on the smell and how it performs on my skin. Let's start things off with the presentation. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice about this fragrance is the salty vibe that you get from it. And let me tell you something, it's a very sort of fresh, invigorating type of an aroma that you're going to get from it. And it does remind me of being out in the middle of the sea. It has this beautiful oceanic component to it, without smelling like seaweed, which is one of the drawbacks of fragrances like Cell Marron by Healy. I appreciate that fragrance for the artistic merit and for what it's capable of doing in terms of actually smelling like seaweed or being stranded in the middle of the ocean on a ship or something like that. But it doesn't have a certain wearability to it. This fragrance does. The ambroxan, this isoe super that's in here, that bright and flavorful bergamot in the opening, it just opens up very bright, very refreshing, and it kind of reminds me of a cross between Tom Ford's Oud Mineral and Citrus Riviera by BDK Parfum. So here we're talking about two heavy hitters, the former of which I'm not crazy about. I actually don't really like Oud Mineral. Citrus Riviera I love though. So I love how it opens up with that bright, citrusy, fresh, kind of ozonic but oceanic vibe. I would also compare this one to Squid by Zoologist if you've tried that fragrance. I think this one is right up there. I think this one came out first though. But it definitely has this prominent salty vibe in the opening. And then it does dry down to the sort of clean, musky, yet equally oceanic base on account of the ambroxan and some of the other ingredients that are in here. Now, I don't know if it's the isoe super or the ambroxan or that citrus in the opening, but it definitely gives off a very high compliment factor. And when I wore this to work, I had coworkers, the teacher who teaches right next door to me. I've had support staff that is in my room, or clerical workers that just happen to be walking the hallways, and they smelled this on me and they're like, wow, what you're wearing today, Mr. G, smells really, really good. So it's nice to get these compliments from time to time, even though I don't actively seek compliments. It just sort of, hey, when you smell good, it comes with the territory, right? So if you're in it for compliments, I think from the brand, this is one of the fragrances that'll really do that. And, you know, I received a sample set initially, and I was smelling all of the fragrances, and I wanted to pick something to review for my subscribers that I think would be great for this time of the year. And Ambraser is one of the fragrances that really tickled my fancy, if you will. I said, this fragrance is awesome, I gotta review it. So if you're into those types of fragrances, you want something that smells oceanic and aquatic, something that has an organic personality about it, but something that dries down to this very agreeable, easygoing, compliment magnet sort of a DNA. I think this goes beyond a lot of the typical office type fragrances because of the level of uniqueness that you're going to get from it. I think a lot of, you know, fresh, modern designer fragrances can be a little cookie cutter. That's not what you're going to get from this fragrance. This one was very deliberate, very meticulous, very well thought out, and you can tell there's a certain level of creativity and originality to it. I really like this fragrance. So this one is called Ambraser, Ambraser, by J.U. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is an acronym, but I would definitely recommend that you at least start with a discovery set, which is actually packaged very nicely, and I really love the presentation of their fragrances with the cylindrical containers, and of course it has a little card on the inside. I dropped my scent strip. I'm done smelling it anyway, but really nice presentation. And I like the mechanism that is in the middle here. It's very resourceful. It's made of cardboard, and you basically just squeeze the fragrance in and it gets locked into place. So I think they did something very innovative with this presentation, and that's always nice to see, especially in an industry that, like I said before, is very cookie cutter. So I love the originality of this brand. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this is a unique fragrance. I know I made comparisons to fragrances like Oud Mineral by Tom Ford, Squid by Zoologist, but when you smell this fragrance on its own, or if you do a side-by-side, you will easily be able to detect how it is unique and it does stand out, even when juxtaposed to those other fragrances. Longevity on this one is about 7 hours. It has a lot of ingredients in here that are on the brighter side of things. And so, you know, the bergamot, for example, is very volatile, but the longevity is really good. Projection was great for the first hour of application. It did not start to sit closer to the skin until about that 4.5 to 5 hour mark. Versatility for this one is great. Perfectly unisex. Anybody of any age can wear this one. I think it would really shine in the hotter weather. In my opinion, that's the best time to wear it. And I think this one can be worn formally and casually at the same time. In terms of the presentation, like I said, very innovative. I love what they did with the presentation, the cylindrical box, and the mechanism that traps the bottle in it. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're looking for a unique and original fragrance this summer, you're tired of all the nondescript, bland, generic, cookie cutter designer fragrances, and you want to spend your money on something that is higher quality, niche quality in a sense, this is an amazing fragrance, and I'm kind of disappointed that I'm 4 years late to the party. It came out back in 2018, but in any case, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you learned something today. That was my review of Ambraser by J.U. If you did learn something from today's video, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, please. It would mean so much to me. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload these videos, and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.